Hello again! Okay, so today I'm gonna talk about my pragmatic languages. Just like Christoph Fluxton says, we gotta study pragmatic languages, because those are the languages that you can really use, not every day, but some of them every day if you want to, and others you can use them somehow, from time to time at least. So, of course, that pragmatic languages also depend on where you live. If you're living in the United States, for instance, Cantonese will be a pragmatic language. But if you don't, Cantonese won't be that pragmatic. If you live in the United States, you can live, let's see, near Navajo reservation. So Navajo can be a pragmatic language for you, in case you know some Navajos. Or Cherokees, in case you know some of them. But for me, living in Spain, those languages will not be pragmatic. So it also depends on the country you live in. Okay, so I made a list. The first language, it might not be that pragmatic, but it's my favorite language, and from time to time I have the possibility to practice it. At least once a year, just for a few minutes, but it's better than nothing. It's Finnish. So it's my favorite language. I want to speak Finnish as good as I can. So now I'm doing 1 hour and a half of Finnish a day, 5 days a week. Sometimes I kind of skip it. I study a little bit less. So Finnish, it has to be pragmatic for me, because even if I don't use the language daily, and I don't use the language daily, I intend to use this language as an active language. So I intend to keep on studying 5 days a week Finnish, let's say for the rest of my life. Not always 1 hour and a half. I might then put it 1 hour. So Finnish is my first pragmatic language. So the other one is Swedish. Swedish, it's more pragmatic. From time to time I come across people from Sweden. And with my kind of low intermediate level, I don't speak Swedish very good. I lack in vocabulary, I lack in grammar, and I even lack in pronunciation. That's why I'm using Svenska Utifrån now, which is a good course, a very good course, and I'm improving quite a lot. Swedish is a pragmatic language for everyone. So there are a lot of people studying Swedish. There are a lot of polyglots speaking Swedish. And in Portugal, just like in Spain, there are a lot of Swedish visitors, Swedish tourists. So it's definitely a pragmatic language. Norwegian, less pragmatic, sorry guys, less pragmatic Norwegian, but also pragmatic. I've come across people from there too. And then here comes the really pragmatic languages, the real pragmatic languages. French and Italian. French is useful all the time, and so is Italian. Here in Spain, in the south of Spain, there are a lot of people from Italy. So if I learn Italian, I will communicate easily, and it won't be so difficult for me since I'm Portuguese and I know Spanish at a near native fluency. French. Well, my French is not very good, but I consider it an easy language to learn. And I have a lot of resources for this language. So it will take me some time to get a good degree of fluency in French, but I believe I will do it, no problem at all. And then here's a very pragmatic language for people living in Portugal or in Spain. I'm talking about Romanian. Oh yes, in Faro where I live, I found out a Romanian bar. Well, it's not a Romanian bar, it's owned by Romanians, and most of the clients are from Romania. I'm from Romania, I'm crazy, right? So, it's really, really pragmatic for me to learn this language. That's why now I restarted learning this language, and it's another language that I intend to do it along my life, with sometimes skipping it, sometimes studying it. But it's very, very pragmatic language. Then Turkish. Those guys are kind of everywhere too, not as much as the Chinese, but Turkish is a pragmatic language. There are a lot of polyglots studying it, so it's easier to find someone to talk to, or easier at least. Where I live, in a small city, shitty city called Ciudad Real, but there is a Turkish restaurant, so Turkish is a pragmatic language. Arabic. Too bad I don't know any Arabs. There are loads of them in here. Well, in my town in Spain, all around the world too, but in Spain, Spain is crowded with Arabs from Morocco. So I will learn Arabic, and then by the time I've studied like on a low intermediate to intermediate level, more than standard Arabic, I will start studying Moroccan Arabic right away. I want to meet those guys from there. I want to meet people from there because it's a really pragmatic language. Very, very good. There are a lot of people from there here in Spain, even in my own in the city where I live. Then Mandarin Chinese. Those guys are everywhere. There are a lot of polyglots studying Mandarin Chinese, so it's easier to find native speakers. It's easier to find people studying it. I believe no further explanation is needed for this one. Then Russian. There are a lot of polyglots studying Russian. A lot of them. Well, I don't know exactly when Russian people exactly are living in abroad. Here in Spain, I believe much less, but it's possible to come across them. Anyways, there are a lot of polyglots studying Russian. Then, another pragmatic language, depending on the place you live. I'm talking about Wolof. In Spain, most of the African people, most of them come from Senegal. So it's much easy to find, at least easier to find native speakers. Then Dutch. In Spain and Portugal, those guys are everywhere too. Not as much as the Danes, but they are everywhere. So it's very easy to find people from the Netherlands. Very easy to find them on vacation, and also it's a language which is very studied among the YouTube community, among the polyglot community. Then German. Everyone is studying German. Everyone but me. I want to learn German somehow, someday. I mean, but not yet. It's a pragmatic language. It's on my list, but I have a lot to do before German. For instance, Dutch. Then Japanese. Japanese is a pragmatic language. There are Japanese people everywhere too. I don't know if they're friendly or not, because they don't seem to talk that much. Anyways, there are Japanese restaurants, there are people interested in studying this language, a lot of them. There are a lot of people studying Japanese, so at least it's easy to find people to practice with. Then Thai. I only made a few lessons so far, and now I'll kind of dedicate my couple of weeks or something like that into other languages, and then I will try 1 hour of Thai a day, 5 days a week, during several years. At least during a couple of years or 3, and then I can rotate. Polish. Like I said, there are languages, pragmatic depending on the place you live. I believe that in Spain there are a lot of people from Poland. There are kind of everywhere, in Portugal too. So they come from Erasmus. Exchange students are very easy. It's very easy to find exchange students from Poland. So I want to be able to speak Polish at the upper intermediate level. Sorry. I would like to learn this language at an advanced level, but let's be real, okay? It's very hard. Then Danish, very pragmatic language, very, very pragmatic language. Those guys from Denmark are everywhere. Everywhere I go, Portugal, Spain, everywhere I go, I see there goes a Danish car, there goes another Danish car, there goes another D from Denmark. So Danish is a pretty pragmatic language. And then Hindi. There are a lot of people studying Hindi, and those guys are everywhere too. Hindi restaurants in Portugal, Indian restaurants in Portugal and Spain, everywhere, all around the world. And it also applies to Thai. Where I live in, there ain't no native speakers of Thai, I believe, but Hindi, it's easier to find people from there at restaurants. I know a couple of restaurants in Portugal, so it's a pragmatic language. And now, I don't have it on this list here, but just like I say, it depends on the places you live. where I live, there is a Pakistani restaurant from Pakistan. So Punjabi, it will be a pragmatic language for me because it will be possible to practice that language. So this is it. Those are the pragmatic languages for me. This is my list of pragmatic languages. Well, just like I said, it depends on the places that you live in, but languages like Mandarin, Arabic, Turkish, Hindi, people are interested in studying these languages, Japanese, and then there are languages like Wolof or Romanian, because where I live in, it's easier to find people, especially from Romania. So, that's it, and see you guys then.